Hello, everyone. Hirashai. Welcome to my show, Pomme Stars, episode 12. You believe it? 12. Wow.
Welcome, everyone.
Hey, wait, hold on. I mean, the ceiling is like made of wood. Are you good there?
Oh yes, I've got like these little hooks on my boots that let me like hang upside down.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
It's okay either way, depending on whether it's like just normal roof or like beams, because like I can also like just hang on my knees as well if I need to.
You may have guessed maybe today my guess is none other than Spacey Bat. Hello, and as the name says, I believe you're a bat and you are on my ceiling.
I'm a bat. Welcome to the pawn shop. I am Spacey Ellie, and I'm stopping by for a visit today to show off some treasures.
Treasure they are for sure. Yeah. Oh man, I remember when you sent it to me. It's like, oh, we're gonna have a good show. We're gonna have a good show today. Oh man, I really like the stuff you brought today. So I'm really excited.
I'm happy to hear that. Well, yeah, for those who don't know, I am a Gadgeteer Bat and also a game developer. I am most known for being the producer of the Freedom Planet series. As a matter of fact, Freedom Planet 2 just came out last month on consoles, and the reception has been absolutely wonderful. So thank you everybody who has played it so far.
Yeah, Freedom Planet 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a speedy platform game. Like the most direct comparison is like Sonic, but it's a bit more action oriented than that. Like you fight with like punches and kicks rather than jumping on stuff.
I see.
And it's got like full voice acting. It's pretty cool.
Nice, and I think that we are also, how can I say, we are part of a same community too, if I can call it like that. As you're also a game developer for a game that I mentioned a couple times on the channel, and that I've been on your channel to talk about it. So you're also the team lead for
the the upcoming Hololive fan game, Chrono Gear Warden of Time.
Yeah, Chrono Gear. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. If Chad didn't know, I did help a little bit. I need to get back to it, but I helped a little bit on the project, and it's going to be really cool. I'm so excited about your project. Me too.
The team is cooking so hard. We are rapidly approaching the halfway point already. Oh my goodness.
Crazy. Yeah, making games and seeing. Yeah.
I noticed Edge Drive, one of our pixelars, is in the chat.
Hello. Welcome. Irashai. Welcome to my shop here in virtual Japan. Usually I say it, I forgot. Welcome to virtual Japan, by the way, Spacey.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
The weather's quite nice today up here.
Yeah. Are you staying there all day?
Right. I should get down and do proper greetings.
Woo!
These aren't just for show; they're the real deal.
Damn. Well, if it gets a little bit dusty, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Sorry.
Nah.
I should probably keep my wings retracted just so that I don't knock anything over by accident, because that has happened before.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, I scrambled so quickly to put it back after I knocked it down.
I mean, it's handy that you can just like. Do you retract them behind your like what? How does it work?
Yeah, it just kind of like, I guess like they just kind of like fold back into my arms, like the underside of my arms.
Okay.
And then I just have human arms.
Hey, all right. Now that we've been well introduced, maybe now let me introduce you. Maybe you know, but maybe some of your viewers don't know, and maybe others. What is it today? Pomme Star. Well, no, that's another show. Pomme Stars.
Oh yeah.
Whoops. Let it slide. Yes, Pomme Star is my pawn shop show where I invite my VTuber friends, or sometimes yourself, the pumpkins, my fans, where I will basically buy off cool items or emotional items that you guys have, and then I will be placing them for display in front of my shop for until like the next Pomme Star. And with this, I have to ask all of my guests before I do so, because I need your permission. I will first, let me show you. I will be placing the item that I buy from you today on the display. During my, you might have seen it during the loading screen. Are you okay with that?
Oh yes.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yeah, no problem. Show it off as much as you please.
Nice. And basically, the idea for you and me is to discover more of Spacey through cool items that she has, and nice story probably attached to it. I say nice story because one of the value that is very important for me, I have three value. One of the value I really estimate when I evaluate items is the emotional value of an item. Because unlike an actual pawn shop where it would be all about money, right? Here at, what's the name of my shop? At Janken Pawn.
It's okay, we've all had a day like that.
It's because there's so many puns. There's like Pomme Star, Janken Pawn.
Oh, okay, yeah, the good old hurricane of puns.
Yeah. At Janken Pawn, we also value emotional items, and sometimes it's really cool. Pawn Star, exactly. And the other value that I also like to look at is the rarity value. For example, I don't know, you have a limited print of a book. You have an item that was only made in a specific occasion and you're the sole owner in the world or something like that, right? And then the third value I usually check is the uniqueness. The uniqueness is sometimes a bit complicated for some people. And what I do, hey, thank you. What I usually describe as the uniqueness is condition that made your item something different compared to all the other items that exist out there. For example, you have a book, and that book survived a total loss fire, right? Where it shouldn't be possible that that book survived, but for some reason the book did. It kind of makes it, even if it's not rare or special or anything, it gave it like this unique property on the book. So yeah, so rarity, uniqueness, and emotional value. Yeah. And then on this show, we don't usually talk about money. We a little bit, but it's not about money. It's really more to discover about my guests on their item and the fun things about those items more than actual like cash money, baby. Alrighty. If everything makes sense, I think we can go ahead and introduce the first item. Yeah.
The real cash money was the memories we made along the way.
I feel a lot of people use that on my channel. Like insert X we made along the way. All right. Now, before we go, how's the audio, everyone? How is Spacey voice, my voice, the background music? Is everything fine? Rocks are also appreciated. That is true. Did you know I have an history of people selling me rocks?
Oh, yeah. I think I saw that when wasn't Cozy 2 one of the ones that presented around?
Yeah, she sold me a truck ton of A truck ton of rocks.
I technically have a rock to show off today. But
I think it has to do with my emoji being the fist bump, because it's also the Janken sign of the rock.
I see.
All right. BGM is the double. I'm turning up the volume now. Oh, wait, you're right. It's probably... Okay, I'm going to fix that right now.
Yeah.
There we go. It was double. I hope it wasn't too bad. Cool. Thank you, Rabbit. All right, if that's the only problem, it should be fine now. All right, let's go ahead. And, excellent. First item then. Let's go. First item. I hope everyone's ready. Like I said, I'm excited for like all of your item. No joke. Like I want to know everything about your item. So let's start with, it's kind of funny because I kind of gave this, well, as an example, not exactly, but you guys will see. Let's see the first item. Boing.
This.
All right.
Okay.
Spacey, what are we looking at?
We are looking at one of many leather-bound books in my collection. I'm an avid collector of leather-bound books. And this particular one is a handmade leather-bound edition of The Hobbit, specifically the version with the Alan Lee illustrations. I love The Hobbit. It's one of my favorite books, just because of how like you can just sit down in an afternoon and just like breeze through it.
Yeah, right. And it's compared to like the trilogy. This is like kind of a short story, right?
Yeah. I wish. I constantly like imagine in my head what it would be like if Peter Jackson had only made one Hobbit film instead of like stretching it out to a trilogy.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
It's kind of cool, like having the context of the film when reading the original book. Just 'cause it just makes it that much easier to imagine the characters in my head.
Yeah.
Of course, I also really like Alan Lee's illustrations and depictions of the characters as well. Like, for example, like I imagine Gollum in the book like looking like a lot like different than he does in the film, just because of the way that he's described by like Tolkien's words. But the reason also that I wanted to show off this particular book in particular is because it is a fine example of what I value in a leather-bound book. You can't see it, but one thing that I really don't like is gilded page edges. They look really pretty when they're brand new, but over time, they can get like scratched up. They can start to flake off, and at that point, like just like the way the gold flakes like deteriorate, it just doesn't really look good. So I do prefer bare pages.
I see.
My leather-bound books.
There's a joke going around my channel where I am known to not read. And people are just like, oh yeah, John Kenny would never read a book. And then when you give me such like precise detail, I have to ask more questions. So does that make it like more rare, the fact that the pages are how did you call them?
So for this particular book, and for most of my books, they don't have any gilding on the page edges.
Gilding.
It's basically a process where they just like add like this like really shiny color to the edges of the pages, so that when the book is closed, like it just has like that shimmer to it.
Okay. Oh yes. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. So you don't have that.
No.
I see.
I do have that on some of my books, but that's just because it's unavoidable on some of them. Like. I also have the Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition of Chronicles of Narnia, which is a very rare book. That's
what I was about to ask, actually. Like, on the rarity value, like, how rare would you consider, like, this leather-bound book to be?
Now, for this leather-bound book, it was a commission. I commissioned somebody on Etsy for this. This is specifically from The Art of Praise on Etsy. Very fine quality. I'm very happy with the purchase. So I would say that maybe like the rarity is about the same as the Alan Lee edition of The Hobbit, because of that. But just like the handmade craftsmanship is like something that I like treasure very much, and I very much love like the customized like illustration on the front with the gold foil.
Right. I was about to say though, for the uniqueness.
It's also on the side. It's also on the side. It looks really good on the side. But unfortunately, with the lighting and the camera setup, I wasn't able to get a good snapshot of the side, so I elected to show off the top instead.
A little bit. I think we do see a little bit on the side. But yeah. Okay, so for the uniqueness though, because it is like handmade and it is custom made, it is like kind of one of a kind on the uniqueness value, right? Because like it's only like that artist, yeah, we can say artist. I think like it would be like only that artist that could like kind of make like recreate that in a sense. Of course. Okay. And how about the emotional value like toward like this one? Like, is there like anything special toward this book? Like, do you have like fond memory or something on that line?
Before I started streaming, I really wanted to like practice like speaking more, kind of like speaking more loudly and clearly, and in like a brighter tone. And this was my practice book for that. So there's a bit of sentimental value in that regard.
Okay, so this has like some sort of OG background story for Spacey, as it helped you like kind of practice like your speech. Okay, that's interesting. How long have you been how long have you had this book in your collection?
Let's see, when did I purchase this? I'm gonna double check my receipt. So
she's so ready. She's like, wait, hold on, I have all the receipt, I have all the paper.
So I bought this in October in 2020.
Okay. Oh, that was perfect for a lot of time to read.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All right. It's a book. It's a book. Now, I do love the aesthetic a lot of Letterbound, right? Like you said, like the image is also like so pretty and everything. There's so many other cool thing I could get, but as paper do beat right. What do I do? You know what? I think this is something that is part of your origin story. And because we all know me and my history with books, I think for this one, I will let it slide because I know there's some stuff I can't say no to. I know there's stuff I can say no to. But this one, I think I will let it slide. I do think it's a really cool looking book. Like, I'll be honest, in my apartment, I don't even have a library. Like, I mean, I know this would be like for the pawn shop, but me personally, right? My attachment to books is like so low that I almost feel bad. Because
like I was like that too for the longest time. I didn't really start getting into books until like the past like 3 or 4 years, I would say.
Interesting. I know, like, when he's around, like, I have one of my mod. He's like, he wants to be a writer and like values books a lot. If he was here, he would be judging me right now. So I'm gonna use the opportunity to I'm gonna let you keep your book, your origin story, and even if chat is like, oh, he hates books, we're gonna We're gonna let slide.
I totally get the mindset.
All right. Now, the second item, though. Wait. Oh, right. The second item. The second item, everyone. We're gonna have a problem, but we're gonna talk about it. So, let's see what we have. Am I seeing green Mario here? Am I seeing green Mario here?
I can explain it.
Before you do, context. If I had to tell Spacey, when she sent this to me, I was like, this is gonna go wrong. I was like, did you know Luigi is one of my favorite characters of all time? I could write an essay how much Luigi is the superior brother and how much like I love Luigi. And then she shows me green green Mario? All right. What is going on here? What is the story, Spacey?
Okay. So it all starts with Papa Spacey going on a trip to Italy to visit my brother, who is also living over there. It's the first time that he had ever been on a trip overseas since like the Vietnam War, literally. So it's been like, I don't know, like
wow.
Like 30 years since he's ever like taken a proper vacation. Like he's a workaholic.
Wow.
So he took a trip to Italy with his wife, and they got to hang out with my older brother there, and it was really awesome. Well, of course, one of the places they went to is a very popular tourist destination, which is the Vatican. So he tells me all this when I visit his house a couple months ago, because I go down there a few times a year to like catch up with family and, you know, like do like paperwork stuff that I can only do in my hometown for some reason. So he tells me, we catch up on, and I ask him how his trip went. And he just like, one of the things that he did first was to give me a paper bag with a few souvenirs in it. There was a keychain in there, like a usual fare. He gave me a keychain, and then he also gave me these two bootleg Mario keychains. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's the deal with this? And he told me that he just said that he bought it in Italy, but he also in the Vatican, I guess like there's like this like motorcade that stops by every now and then with the Pope, and they kind of like spritz holy water on people's items. So what he essentially gave me is a bootleg Mario and Green Mario keychain that is blessed by the Pope.
I did not see this coming.
Which begs the question: if an item is cursed and the Pope blesses it, does that cancel the curse?
Oh no, that is illegal. Oh my god, that is so illegal. Oh no, I
don't even know what to do with these. I just have them now, I guess.
Oh, because it's Green Mario. Green Mario shouldn't exist, but because it's been like blessed by the Pope, now I saw. Oh my god. Oh,
when he told me, it took me like 5 minutes to process what I just heard. But while I was processing that, he went into more detail about like some other stuff that he did on that trip.
Okay.
Apparently, my older brother had done some research into the ancestry of the Botticelli bloodline.
Okay.
And he found like the hometown that that my whole family came from. So he took my dad and his wife on a trip up there, and they got to see like the hometown of our ancestors.
Wow.
And he also showed me some photos of like this area in the town that's very high up. It's so high up that you can see most of Italy from it.
Wow.
And there is a monument up there with a cross that is like a monument to like fighters from World War II who died in the conflict, who were from that town. and on the stone plaque under the cross, there was the name of the oldest named Botticelli in existence.
Wow.
So I can tell that trip kind of like changed him in a way, kind of like softened his perspective on things.
I would never have guessed that Green Mario and Bootleg Mario would be coming with such a deep and important story.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
So that's probably just the fact that it's associated with that trip is the reason why I still have them even.
Yeah, emotional value like through the roof.
Yeah.
On the rarity value, it's bootleg, so. But.
Why is it bootleg?
But it's blessed by the Pope. How do I deal with this item? This has to be one of the most complex items. The most simple looking and enraging item that comes with such a background.
Let's just say the item like is emotional.
Yes.
Both good and bad.
All right, let's see. I know what I'm gonna do. I know. I know it's even more important than the book. And I was like, oh, you can keep it because of origin story. Hey, and now I know what I'm gonna do. I will sell this definitely as being blessed. Oh, actually, no. We're in Japan, right? This I can sell as a rare Mario, right? As a rare Mario figure that's been blessed by the pop. Yeah. And at the same time, if it doesn't sell, I can, maybe I give you back like the regular Mario, and then I don't know if Green Mario ever disappear, but then I feel bad. Oh, it's such a complex item.
Just keep the Green Mario as like a tonic or something. Just grind it down to powder.
Yes. I did not expect this to be blessed by the Pope. Of all the things you would have told me today, the last thing would have been hey, Janken, I have an item that had been blessed by the Pope. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I need it. That's for sure. It's a definitely item that I am taking. I'm not sure of the future of a Green Mario, as it is a blessed curse item. Blessed curse item. It's so crazy.
Worse.
Okay. All right. Man, I'm gonna have some time to recover from the fact that, of all the things to be said about this.
Don't worry. It took me a while to recover from this as well.
Well, thank you for bringing such an interesting item, despite the fact that Green Mario is shouldn't exist. All right, that was great. Okay. Let's go to the third item, because let me tell you, it only gets better. There's some really cool stuff still to be seen today. Okay, I can't believe I just buy a Green Mario. Oh, what?
Okay,
what?
So
okay.
This is Shelly. Shelly, the seashell skull.
Now, it's a seashell. Oh yeah, I see it. Right.
It's a seashell that has been hand carved to have a skull face on it.
Huh.
And I'm guessing that they kind of grinded the face down of the skull a little bit so that it the surface was smooth, because the rest of the seashell is very rough and coarse. So I noticed that they kind of smoothed down the surface where the skull face is and polished it. So the craftsmanship really caught me off guard in a good way when I first saw it. I saw this on an eBay auction, and I was like, that's so strange. I've never seen anything like this. And I'm a sucker for a finely shaped skull. So I decided to place a bid, and I got it for I can't remember the exact amount, but it wasn't that much. But I've never seen anything like this before. I actually in the months following me buying this, I did like searches for like seashell skulls, and I could not find anything.
Interesting.
People don't like make stuff like this, so I'm just very curious as to why it exists. It looks really cool, and I kind of like the juxtaposition because like in real life, I have a gothic aesthetic. I like goth things.
So that's cool. I see.
It kind of fits with that, and it also kind of like has a summer aesthetic, because it's like a seashell.
Yeah.
So during the summer, I will put Shelly on my desk to celebrate summer.
Interesting. I have a lot of questions. Are you aware if the seller of this item was also the maker of this item?
I have a feeling that maybe it was like an online store, and with like several people working on it.
Right.
So maybe it was like, I get the feeling that it was like maybe from like an online store where they had like several people like carving stuff like this.
I see. Did it comes with the paper? Like, sometime when you buy something for authenticity or like for like anything, or it was just like straight up like you received the item?
It didn't come with a certificate of authenticity per se, but it came with like one of those like business cards.
Right.
Like you get from stores.
Okay.
It came with that. It also came with like a lint cloth for like cleaning it, I guess.
Okay. Now I'm just wondering, is it a thing? Carving in seashell? Usually?
I have seen other kinds of seashell sculptures, but like nothing like skull shaped or anything like that. I have been curious about whether I could fit like a tiny little like electronic light inside of it and make it into kind of like a jack-o'-lantern. But like it would be a bit complicated to like fit something on the inside and then kind of like take it out when I'm done.
And the blackness, like from the eye and the mouth, and is this painted or is the inside we're seeing?
Yeah, it's the inside you're seeing.
Okay, so it is like inside of it, like actually hollow.
I have Shelly right here. Yep, it's hollow.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, if it's hollow, it kind of makes it even cooler in a way.
Yeah. It's just so cool how they did that. I wonder what kind of tools they used.
Yeah, I imagine like some sort of like, not drill, but like polishing, like, I have no idea how it's called.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's like, those tools, like the electric tool that that kind of just like sand like surfaces, I imagine.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I can't remember the name of it either. Also, shortly after I took this photo, because I took this photo like shortly after I bought it, because like the lighting was perfect that day. But shortly after I took this photo, I actually had because there was a splotch of brown in the middle of the teeth that you see there. I actually took some of my white nail polish and just like painted over it with white nail polish a couple of times.
I see.
And now Shelly has pristine white teeth.
So now it's completely white. I see.
Just in the teeth.
It's quite an interesting piece for sure. So, is there any emotional attachment, emotional story that came with Shelly?
Just the fact that Shelly has been with me ever since in my office.
Okay.
But sometimes, sometimes she'll just be on the shelf. Sometimes she'll be on my desk. Sometimes she'll be on the windowsill.
Okay. So it's really an item that you like a lot. Like you like having this item around you.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic.
Okay. I wonder, just like being a decoration, rarity is the fact that a skull in a seashell might be rare, or at least like not easy to find. Uniqueness, unless it has like a special story or a special attribute, but I don't think so from what you told me. This is a hard one, you know. Okay, I know. So, for those of you who've never seen it in the show, or maybe even you, Spacey, because I don't know if you ever like witnessed it live. When I am undecided, I use the most important, the most prestigious way to resolve decision-making thing in Japan. And of course, that being my own name, I play Janken with my guests. And I think we can play Janken over this, because I kind of wanted, but like I'm not sure like if it's gonna be like reselling good. It does look pretty cool.
It's also one of a kind. I have not found anything else like it for sale.
It's true. But it's just like to put a value on this is kind of hard, as like I cannot use like, oh, it's like it's rare. Well, I mean, I can say like you're never gonna find something like that. I want to play Janken. So what we're gonna do is I am gonna prepare my sign here that I have, and I will after that ask you to send when we're wait, that's not how we're doing it. First, I have a question. Do you know the Japanese song to play Janken Pon?
I do not know that song.
All right. Do you want me to teach you the song? Very simple.
Sure.
All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to sing the song together once I taught you. And then you will send me the sign that you want to throw in our chat. And then I will show my sign at the same time on screen. Is that good?
Okay.
Okay. So the song goes like, Saisho wa gu, Saisho wa gu, Janken Pon.
Janken Pon.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So we're going to sing that together, and then you can prepare your sign, and you can press enter and send it to me, and I will show you the one that I have on screen.
Okay, so the sign would be like a symbol, or?
Oh, you can write it with with words or with the emoji. It's up to you.
Like what type of sign should it be? Should it be like a shape or a fruit? Or?
No, but it's Janken. It's rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, okay. So either rock, paper, or scissors.
Yeah.
I actually have a motion on my model I can use.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you ready?
Okay, so what was the first part of the song again?
Okay. The first part is Saisho wa gu. Saisho wa gu. Aha. Janken Pon.
Janken Pon.
All right. We can do it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Saisho wa gu. Janken
Pon.
Oh! Both paper. Both paper. Okay. Well, I forgot to tell you, if it is a tie, you win. It's usually like I don't do redo. I give my customer the chance. Oh yeah, and you can play in chat too. All right. So Shelly will find a place. On the display, in the sun, and I will have to sell this as a very rare, once in a lifetime opportunities, coal in a shell, and yeah. But it does look really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Thank you.
Now, the next item is really cool, and I think very important for you. I don't know if you remember, but let's see the next item. Boing. Of course. If you know Spacey a little bit, definitely you go, of course. Why is that so, Spacey?
Okay, so the item we are looking at specifically is the Sonic plushie. This Sonic plushie, I have owned the Sonic plushie for as long as I can remember. I believe I got it when I was only like 6 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, that was way back when Sonic was just on the Sega Genesis. And like, despite everything that I've been through and everything that this plushie has been through, he still has his vibrant blue colors, and he's still soft, and like he still has like the flat like pulls and everything. You could tell by feeling him, you know, he's getting up there in age, but like this is a well-loved Sonic plushie.
You could have fooled me. You could have fooled me for sure. It does look like pristine just from looking at it like this.
Yeah, like if you know the type of Sonic plushie this is, you can find him on eBay. But yeah, like this is like in as flawless of a condition as you can be for a plushie that is like not like still in its box or package.
All right. So this item has been around you for like since forever.
Yeah. And I even took this plushie with me when I was living in Europe, because right after I graduated from college, I moved to Sweden for like 6 months.
I see.
While I was in Sweden, I was working to get permanent residency in Denmark, and then I lived in Denmark for a couple of years. And while I was over there, that was where I kind of like started like thinking about like game development seriously as like a commercial endeavor, like a career. And I actually started like my first commercial project, Freedom Planet, during the final few months that I was living in Denmark. Eventually I did have to go back home. Things just didn't work out with like the culture change and everything.
I see.
But I'm still very grateful for the country for taking care of me for so many years. But all that time, the Sonic plush stayed with me.
Yeah,
and now he's still with me.
And I imagine that also shaped your preferences, like the fact that you've been a Sonic fan for so many years. Was that a factor?
It's kind of funny because like, even though this Sonic plushie has sentimental value, I feel a lot more attached to Tails as a character than Sonic, because like I was the player 2 of the family. My older brother was like usually the player 1. So like the first like Sonic the Hedgehog game that I really invested a lot of time into was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And my brother would play as Sonic, and then they had the function where the player with the second controller could control the AI Tails.
Yeah.
So after that, I started playing as Tails solo, and then the rest is history. After that, I was like, Tails is my baby boy forever.
I see.
And he still is.
But the series itself, shaped a lot of your game dev influence.
It's because of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 that I like was inspired to pursue game development when I grew up. Like as a little kid playing Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, I was like, I want to make a game like this someday. When I'm gonna grow up, I'm gonna make video games. And that's exactly what I did.
So many origin story. I love it, man. This is cool. Okay. So, and Epoch, yes. Spacey worked on Freedom Planet. Yeah, maybe you missed it.
I am the producer of both Freedom Planet games.
Yeah. Big time. Really cool. Let me see. I have a really soft spot for plushies. I have a really soft spot for plushies. I love plushies. You said this can be found on eBay, correct?
I think so. Don't quote me on it, but
okay.
I do remember doing like a search online to like try and figure out like exactly what like edition of plushie this was. And I did figure it out. I just can't remember what it was.
I see. But it is getting pretty old, which means it is more difficult to get. Like 100% for sure. There's no way like that a plushie like that with all the age it has. And also, you kept it in such a condition. Like, seriously, I'm impressed. I'm like, plushies are so hard to maintain with time. Everything like plays against them, like, because of the material, right? The seam like loosen up, and like the color kind of fade away. But from what I'm looking, it looks like pretty good. Do you get to keep the book? Are the book just there because this is where the plushie are?
The books are just there just where the plushie is. But
Okay.
Maybe perhaps I could be persuaded.
I mean, I'm ready to get just the plushie, to be honest, because it is such a...
Although, fun fact about the books, though, I got the Sonic Encyclopedia. I pre-ordered that one as soon as pre-orders went live. For the IDW collections and the Sonic the Hedgehog anniversary comics. Those I purchased from when I was on my very first trip to California, specifically Los Angeles area, to meet my best friend Alex and her partner, as well as my good friend Ashley, who is a game developer herself. That was a very wonderful trip, and I'm glad that I got these two comic collections as kind of a souvenir to celebrate that.
Okay, and yeah, I know someone mentioned like, oh, now he wants the book. There are images on it. Okay, I'm a simple man. Okay, if there are images, like if there's not a lot of reading, like I'm okay.
Hey, comics and graphic novels are still books.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But listen, the plushie itself, I can't say no. Like, it's an old plushie. It's a good looking plushie. It's a game plushie. It has like all the story you just said with it. Like that's a must have. Like, that's like no brainer. Like, for me, don't even like need to be convinced. So yeah, really cool. Well, I will be, of course, as diligent on keeping Sonic very well placed on the display, and even if it's outside in the all with the sun and all the wind and all the elements going against it, I will make sure that the plushie stays intact.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Now we are about midpoint with the next item. This one was really cool, but there's, of course, a lot more of cool items. Hunga Bunga, what am I looking at?
These are one of the absolute coolest art pieces I've ever owned. They are masks from the Baruca tribe in Costa Rica.
Okay.
I ordered them all online, and I felt like very positively about like supporting indigenous people by commissioning them for like artwork like this.
That's cool.
Now, the two on the edges, on the one on the left and the one on the right, those were ordered from one of the Baruca tribe members who has like an online store. And the one in the middle, I ordered from a separate galleria in Costa Rica who purchases the masks from the tribe. So the two on the left and right are ones that they kind of like are made to order, and the one in the middle is like truly unique. There's not a mask like that one. So the story behind like these masks, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I did like my research on it, but they have like this annual like celebration, like which basically I think it like in English it roughly translates to Dance of the Little Devils. And the masks represent like these nature spirits that are like trying to fend off like Spanish invaders. Because the tribe in Costa Rica, like they're like descended from a time when like the Spanish were exploring South America and conquering the natives. So the dance is kind of like a theatrical performance that like reenacts the Spanish conquest, and the Spaniards are represented by a single like bull. Like the tribe member that like plays the part of the bull is like he represents the Spanish, and they kind of like have like this performance where they kind of like battle it out. The bull ends up victorious, but like the spirit of like the native people like live on, something like that.
Okay.
And the dance, like the masks that they use for the dance are a bit less like elaborate and detailed than this. They like purposely dial up the detail for tourists. Because like it's like a really good way to like support the tribe is to like be able to like purchase their artwork.
Okay.
And that's also a much more environmentally friendly way to support like indigenous tribes, as opposed to actually like going down there as a tourist. Because if you go down there as a tourist, there's like like there's a good chance that like the extra traffic is going to like cause littering and
right
and like other things.
Okay.
But yes, the masks that they actually use in the dance are like a little less elaborate and detailed. Some of them like aren't even painted.
Right.
And the Galleria that I bought the center mask from actually sells masks that were used in the ceremony. And a lot of times they will have like battle damage, or they'll be like scarred by the flames that they dance around. Which is really cool.
Really cool, yeah.
Yeah, I really thought about getting a mask like that, but like they're pretty much the same price as the ones that are like made for decoration. And like shipping is not cheap, but this one really like captivated me because of the sheer number of horns and stuff on it. And there actually is kind of like a market that like makes like counterfeit versions of these masks, but there's a very important distinction between the counterfeits and the genuine articles. For one, the biggest difference is that like a counterfeit Baruka mask will not look nearly as scary. They'll usually just have like plants and animals and stuff on them, maybe not even a face on them. Whereas like the more genuine ones, they're supposed to look a little unsettling because like they're like vengeful spirits of nature.
I see.
But I just like love how they take advantage of like asymmetry and just like their use of colors. The way they paint the masks is all with natural paints that they get from the surrounding environment.
Oh, that's like, so cool. Oh my God, this keeps on going.
Like some of the pigments that they use, like I think the purple pigment comes from a like certain type of mollusks that they pull from the sea. And then they get like their greens from natural sources and yellows and golds. It's so cool.
That's
it's just
crazy.
A perfect example of like
it's crazy because the color is so vivid.
Yeah. Like even after I've owned them for a few years, and even like when I go to like dust them and stuff, like the color just retains its vibrancy.
Crazy.
And that's because they live, you'll notice this a lot with cultures closer to the equator. The reason that cultures near the equator like have an aesthetic that is like way more colorful and vibrant compared to those like near the poles is because of the way that they have like constant sunlight. So they have to use like pigments that do not fade quickly with the sun, and those end up like having like a lot more vibrant colors as a result. I love how the masks are just like a perfect encapsulation of the culture that they were made from. Everything from the materials to the fact that they were made from balsa wood, which is like a very soft wood that's very easy to carve. And it's just I just really get a kick out of learning about other cultures and the way that the way that the environment that they lived in shaped the way that they build things and like the way that they create art.
And especially like the middle one, like it feels so much more chaotic, like than the other two. It's very unique in the sense that like you can feel this is not like something like it's something like hand carved, right? Like to get like that kind of like asymmetric kind of like the horns, like there's one higher than the other, and then the one the one like the red one like next to the mouth, like they're not symmetric either. Like that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but like the one on the left has a snake aesthetic. Like you can tell the eyebrow is a snake. And the one on the right has a frog aesthetic.
Yeah.
Where like on both sides of the nose there are frogs, and then at the top of the head is a frog as well. it's really cool.
That's really, really cool. I mean, on the uniqueness, well, for people who are interested for real, like, because I like, there's a lot of people like, oh my god, so cool. You can still get this, right? You can still support them, like,
yes,
if you go.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know if the Galleria where I bought the center one still has its website up. Let me check. Because I remember it went offline one day and it just never came back.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's still offline. I guess they're the kind of place that doesn't really like check their online presence that much. So like no, since they get so little traffic, nobody is like telling them that the site's offline.
I see.
It's been offline for like 3 years.
Oh
wait, it's online. Let's go. So it's the Galleria Namu, Namu.
Oh, do you want to type it in chat? Or do you want me to type it in chat?
You could type it in chat if you want. I will just I'll just type it in the Discord for you. Just go there and browse, and you'll see like how like wildly different the mask designs are. But that's where I bought the center mask from. The other two were from a fellow on Etsy who's part of the tribe.
Okay.
I forget the username there. His name's Victor. He's from Victor Studio CR. That's the Etsy shop.
Okay. And this come with the assurance. There's also the authenticity, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you did say there's so many people who will try like to make those replica, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. You know, I at first, you know, I had this image. How can I say? But then you convinced me. But let me tell you my first image, right? I had like people like when I was a younger Janken, they would have like kind of African mask and they're like, oh yeah, like we bought this like when we went to Africa, and like they probably like, you know, went to like the nearest like tourist trap like place, and they're like, oh, like this look cool, and like I was just like, oh, okay, like you're kind of showing off. But then like it made me realize that like if you know the source, right, you can actually support those tribes with amazing like art like this. And definitely like I was like, okay, now this is something I feel like I can get behind. It's that really cool. And out of curiosity, on the emotional value, what was the driving factor? Like how like, you know, it doesn't like just like, oh, I'm gonna go on the internet and I'm gonna buy like authentic like tribal art. Like, was there something that like kind of brought this into your life, if we can say it like that?
I think like at some point over the pandemic, I like had kind of like I'd been in a rut for a while where I was just like feeling like very down on myself, and I don't want to go into detail because I was in a very dark place back then, but as soon as I climbed myself out of that dark place, like I went through like a whole like transformation of self-discovery, and I just like, it was a point where I finally figured out who I am, who I want to be for the rest of my life, what I want in life. And that's when I went from just kind of like being kind of vague about like my aesthetic, and that's the point where I just like really went for it. I went like I figured out like what I want out of life, what my passions are. And one of my passions, of course, is just like, you know, like learning about other cultures and like, you know, like just like art and music and all the things that I have been like putting into my personal projects. I just felt like this renewed passion for the arts. And as a consequence of that, I had been doing a lot of like shopping on Etsy for like handmade artwork that would kind of like vibe with me. And of course, I was randomly recommended like the mask on the bottom left, and I was like, oh, this looks awesome.
I see.
The more I looked into it, the more I was like, oh, this seems like a worthy cause to support, and the mask is very cool. I just want one for myself, and I went for it.
Yeah.
And then I loved it so much that I got 2 more.
That's really cool. All right. At first, it's crazy. You look at an item and you're just like, oh, mask. You know, without anything that you just told us, right? You just go like, oh, mask. You go like, okay. But now that you put it with like such perspective and everything, like it's really, really cool. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing this like to everyone watching, because I think it's
no problem.
It's for you a great story, but also I think it is a reality that like if you want cool stuff, sometimes you can also support people at the same time for those cool stuff.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, I will be showing these on my display for sure. And I hope that it will not drive away the customer as their fearsome attribute.
Only if they're an enemy of nature.
That's good. That's good. Only if they're enemy of nature. All right. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Let's check the next item we have. Wait. Game Boy Color. Ooh.
Yeah.
Question mark? What am I? Wait, no. The screen is way too. What am I looking at here? What am I looking at here?
This is not like an original Game Boy Color. This is a custom rig.
Oh.
It's something that I commissioned not too long ago, actually. I think last year.
Okay.
But I am super happy with the results. It's very cool. I did pull up the page for it beforehand because I know some people would be interested in the specs for this. For one thing, the most obvious thing is that the screen is bigger than a base Game Boy Color.
Right.
So according to the seller, it is an oversized Q5 screen. And it's also a touchscreen. You can tap the screen to adjust the brightness.
Interesting.
Which is really cool. I was not expecting that. It's got a brand new speaker. It's got a custom made shell. So the shell is not like original. It was like custom molded for this like setup.
Okay.
The buttons are brand new. It has 5 different pixel modes. I haven't figured out how to adjust the pixel settings though.
Okay.
But it's cool because like actually the original listing on this was gray instead of white, but I asked the seller specifically for a white shell to match my aesthetic. Spacey Papa Belly. And oh my gosh, I love it. Like,
I have a question.
What was cool as well is that they gave me a free game with it. They gave me the Japanese version of was it Pokemon Puzzle League? I think.
Okay.
But yeah.
And so, remind me, Game Boy Color doesn't look as vibrant as what we're seeing right now in the game screen, or is it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, I think maybe the main reason that like older Game Boy Colors may not have looked as vibrant is because they didn't have the backlighting.
Huh.
So this has backlighting. So like. You know, if you were around in the Game Boy era, you'd play your Game Boy or Game Boy Color like in the back of the car while your parents are driving, and like you'd be illuminated by the streetlights going by in order to play it.
Right.
Or like you'd curl up in your bed with the lamp pointed at the Game Boy and play it that way. Well, there was something kind of cozy about that. I really don't miss those days. I do prefer the backlighting.
You want to see what you're playing. It was pretty hard sometime, I gotta say. And this plays Game Boy Color cartridge? Yes.
It has a cartridge slot in the back, just like any other Game Boy. I bought an EverDrive, which allows me to play like homebrew games, such as this hack for Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy, which adds color support. I actually played that on my stream last year, and I really liked how the game fell with color. The original was just for base Game Boy.
Right. Interesting. And you did say they gave you a Japanese cartridge, so it can play both, like languages?
I think so. I mean, I don't think the original Game Boy Color was region locked, was it?
Oh, was it?
I don't think so.
In my head, like Nintendo was like region locked like since the Switch.
Yeah.
Unless I'm mistaken, which I could totally be. I don't remember.
I don't know 100% for certain, but I think region locking was was like something that the cartridge handled rather than the system itself. I could be wrong though.
Okay. Interesting. And if let's say, I'm like, she's giving me for sale her Game Boy Color, her custom Game Boy Color, and I'm like, can me myself go on the website and order it?
Yeah, it's kind of the same energy as somebody like selling you like an autograph from a celebrity, but the celebrity signed it to that person.
Okay. So the uniqueness of it, especially, is the white shell, the hard shell.
Yeah, the white shell with the lavender colored buttons.
Okay. It looks visually really pleasing. Like, you would not even play it. You would just have that like on a shelf or on your desk, or just by itself. It looks very visually pleasing. And as a boomer uncle, well, internet boomer, I do have a soft spot for like older console. Personally, I think I skipped the Game Boy Color era. Like, I did not own one, but I do really like the aesthetic. So rarity value would be, you can still order it online, but it is unique in the fact that you have like your colors. And do you have any like emotional attachment toward Game Boy Colors in general? Like, did you own one like when you were younger?
On toggle. Okay. Well, yes. As I was saying before, I have memories of like playing my Game Boy. I had an original Game Boy and a Game Boy Color. Right. And I remember playing both with like a lamp shown on it in order to actually like see it properly. But I actually like, in addition to a Game Boy Color, I actually like, despite having a Game Boy Color, I did prefer playing my Game Boy Color games on the Super Game Boy, which is a cartridge for the Super Nintendo that would allow you to play.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember the Super Game Boy?
Man. Do you also remember the Nintendo 64 had a plug-in?
Oh, like, yeah, the one that you can use Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember when the Pokemon craze hit North America, and I definitely played Pokemon. Like, my brother got Pokemon Red and I got Pokemon Blue. I played my copy definitely way more on the Super Game Boy than I did on an actual Game Boy Color. And then of course when we got Pokemon Stadium, it was really cool to keep playing on my Nintendo 64 without having to switch to the Super Game Boy.
That was like.
Plus, what I really liked too about playing it on Pokemon Stadium is that they had the turbo feature that made walking around way faster.
Right. It was basically like an emulator. Wow. Okay, for the great memory, I think this is a must-have. But I remember like vividly for Stadium and with like the how would you call it, the controller extension that lets you plug your game in it, and it just it felt like you're hacker man, because you play and then you could transfer. Like, to nowadays, it's just like, oh yeah, like Pokebank, you just go online, you just transfer everything. Like, you know, it has no value anymore. But like back then, you're like, I am putting my Game Boy Pokemon and I am transferring them in my Nintendo 64. That was just like mind-blowing, crazy technology.
We didn't have to use the garbage rental Pokemon anymore. We could use our own Pokemon that we raised ourselves that had way better moves and stats.
Yeah. That was like crazy. Like, people remember fondly Pokemon Stadium, but for me, I remember it because of that technology of being able like to play the game directly on your controller.
Oh yes, Dark Moon, the transfer pack.
Yeah, it was called a transfer pack? Yeah, it was crazy. All right. And it does at some point also remind me that there are games that I never got to discover because I didn't play the Game Boy Color a lot. And I know there are some classic out there, so maybe when I have some time, very busy with the shop all the time, but maybe it's a sign to see what I miss from back in the days, because I played a lot of games on every console, but the Game Boy, especially Game Boy Color, is one that I miss.
Yeah, I missed out on the second generation of Pokemon, so maybe someday when I've got, like, when the power's out and I got nothing else to do, and I can just slip some batteries into this and play Pokemon Gold and Silver for the first time.
All right. Oh, I actually bought what is it? Soul Silver, I think. So yeah, because I did skip it when it was like on a Game Boy Color, but like they re-release it as a Hard Gold and Soul Silver. Yeah. All right. Well, I am taking this. It looks great. It's gonna look great on the display too.
Thank you.
I'm letting. Are these real plants or fake plants?
Those are fake.
Okay, that's good, because I was about to say,
vines.
If they're real, I'm letting you keep the plants, because I have a dead touch with plants. If I touch plant, they die. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'm an enemy of nature after all. Oh no, I'm gonna get kicked out of my own shop by the mask. Anyway. All right. Thank you. Let's check. I think the next one. Oh yeah. The next one, like, we could not even talk about it. We could even not even talk about it. I would just like, okay, thank you. All right, let's see the next item you brought. I want to know everything about them.
Okay. Oh.
I love dice. I love D&D, and I want to know, and I know you're ready to tell me, but I just want to say a preface. These, actually, you know what? Usually I don't do this, but because they're small, I'm not important here.
Yeah.
I'm not important here. These are important. Just my eyes, okay? These are crazy dice. What's going on here? Tell me Tell me everything.
So, I'm an avid collector of D&D dice. Fun fact, I have never played D&D in my life. I just really like collecting the dice.
No way! Interesting.
Yeah. So, this is my favorite dice set that I own currently. It is the Morningstar set from Kobold Lab on Etsy. Very beautiful. It's kind of like, has almost kind of like a Ninja Star aesthetic almost. And they are plastic dice, but they are like, they're painted black and then they're kind of coated in this like flaky gold texture to give them kind of like an aged brass look.
Yeah,
Really
that's
cool.
a crazy illusion, because I would have never guessed if you told me like, are these like plastic or metallic?
I know.
I would definitely have said metallic.
They have the pleasant lightweight of plastic while like having the like authentic look of metal, which I think is like a very cool like medium between the two. So the Morningstar set that this seller makes comes in two varieties. It comes in just like the normal set, and he made like a micro set it's really difficult in pictures to capture how crisp the numbers look despite how tiny they are. It's also really difficult to capture just how small they are. I have a pencil there as a size comparison, but basically you could take the entire like miniature set of Morningstar dice and you could run them across your index finger and there'd still be plenty of room.
At first, I was so confused. I was like, did she enhance on those dies? Or are these dies, like, I was like, what is going on? So these are like micro dies.
Yeah. The numbers are still like very legible too, and they came in this like cute little like bottle that you see right there. So yeah, like I use the Morningstar dice now whenever I want to leave something on my streams up to chance. Like if I don't feel like running a poll and I just want to like, you know, like I'm struggling to decide who we should raid next, for example, I'll just pull one of these out and roll it and see. That's the extent that I use dice for, because like I don't really like have anybody to play D&D with in person. But maybe someday.
I see. Online one day, one of my goal as a VTuber, I want to play D&D. I want to play D&D on I think that'd be fun. maybe I could someday get myself into like a VTuber D&D session and be like the dice master, and I will like put like a hand cam on and I'll like roll the dice for everybody, and each person could pick a dice set that I own that best suits their character. That could be. I know that nowadays there's a lot of also automated like kind of system that have dice function. But yeah, that could be great. I have a question. So you use those. So my main concern when I saw them was like, because they have little edges, right? They have kind of little like balls like kind of feature. Do they actually like roll well?
That's the beauty of those knobs, is that like I feel like the reason that the seller like modeled them like that is just so that like they land like pretty much exactly like a normal dice would. So that like, because like the design is so like interesting and angular, like the knobs basically like portion everything evenly in a matter of speaking, so that leaves room for that extra detail.
Interesting. That is so cool.
Like from my tests, they roll just as well as any other D&D dice.
When I was like in my big D&D arc as a younger Janken, like I could go like to shops, you know, like kind of I want to say medieval shop, because sometimes they didn't only have like D&D stuff, and then they would have like dice section, and I would be like just like looking at them and, oh my god, they look so cool, and like just like it's something that like I've always been like really into, and these are really cool. But that's not all, because Spacey's like, oh, I have actually a second picture. Oh, do you now? And then boing, she has a whole set of other dice, right?
This beauty is called the briefcase. This is just the briefcase. This is my entire dice collection. It is a two-sided briefcase with hexagonal inserts, just enough for along each column to have just a standard D&D dice set. You know, like the D4, D6, D10, D20, and D100, I think is another one.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I like all different types of dice. I like the sculpted ones, like the Morningstar set back there. I also like to collect like metal dice, to collect gemstone dice. I also like to collect kind of like the acrylic dice that have like a mixture of like different paints and stuff on the inside. That's the one on the right. That's kind of like an acrylic dice set, and it's kind of like, I love how that one is like specifically painted to look like fire. So that would be good for like a fire mage or a pyromancer. There's also a dice set that is nothing but D6s shaped like skulls. That's the white one in the center. Unfortunately, when I took the photo, none of them were facing forward, so you can't actually see the face on those. But the face is actually like the two side because of the two eyes.
Oh.
And then the two columns to the left of that is a set of blood dice that look very much like blood. So that'd be good for like a vampire. And yeah. So lots of different varieties. And this is just like the front side. To be fair, the back side only has 2 sets right now. But I will fill out the back side at some point.
I see.
But yeah. If I ever become a dice master for like an online VTuber D&D session, I will make a show of pulling out the briefcase.
Of course.
And then everybody can pick their dice as they please.
I have another question. Why dice? Is there a reason?
Dice?
Do you just like think they are interestingly aesthetic? Like for example, like me, like I have a big history with dice because of D&D, right? But you were like, oh, I never played D&D, but you clearly enjoy collecting dice.
Yeah.
So is there like something that actually prompt that, or just like you just think that they look like amazing?
I guess part of it is just like the aesthetic. A part of it is kind of like imagining like a session with me playing various like types of dice. And I guess part of it too is also nostalgia from all the board games that I played growing up that involved like rolling dice. And like back then, of course, since I never played D&D, I never caught privy to the different types of dice there can be. All I knew for most of my life was that there were D6s. So upon discovering that there are dice that have different like sides to them, I was quite fascinated by that. And I was also quite fascinated by how like different like dice artists will like interpret those other like dice sides. So yeah, it's just a mixture of just like liking the aesthetic and nostalgia for board games.
Okay. Do you still play board games?
Every time that I meet up with friends, like my recent trip to California that I talked about, I do like partaking in a board game or two. Just because it's just a nice way to like relax with friends and just like talk for a while.
Since I've been in Japan, it's been a bit harder to play board game here. But yes, when I was in Canada, I would play like a lot more of a board game. Okay, well, I mean, I already said from the start that no matter the rarity, uniqueness, or even the story behind it, the emotional story, like to me, dice are one of the coolest thing, and it really brings back this passion that like I told you, right? I would go like in a shop and I'd be like, oh my god, those dice are so cool.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of what factors into the fascination with it too, is that like the shops that sell D&D dice, they have so many other cool things in it. Like there's this store that my friend Alex took me to during my California trip. It's her favorite store too. It's called Geeky Teas. And they have so many cool tabletop games, and I was actually surprised at how many single-player tabletop games they had. Or at least games that can be played solo. I was tempted, but I was like, I'm gonna have to really commit to this, and I'm gonna have to like make sure that I like have a table set aside for it until it's done.
And
that's another thing too. Like I guess like it's a lot of D&D sessions that I've seen, like they go on for a really long time, and that kind of commitment can be a bit intimidating.
For sure.
Like that store that she took me to also like they also had like a space for like adopting cats.
Oh,
which was really cool.
That's really fun.
Like they had like a cat pen in like one of the rooms, and like one of the walls was glass so you could see like through it, and they basically like act as like a geek store / cat rescue, which is a very interesting and unique combination.
Oh, that's fun. And one of my mods said, and it's totally true, and I forgot about it, there's this game called Tabletop Simulator, and basically on this you can play so many actual real board game, because a lot of people like remade them to fit, and you can find them in a Steam workshop. And I completely forgot about that. That was a thing. So thank you, Puck, for reminding me. I might actually think about that for the future, because I think board game are actually really fun as a content to watch. You know, like sometimes like people like will have a collab like playing Monopoly or the basic one, right? But that could be pretty cool. That could be pretty cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna add those dice, and I'm gonna have to enhance them. I'm gonna have to enhance them because on the display, if we want to see them, maybe I'll just put the
it's actually pretty tricky because of how reflective the surface is. I think next time I take a photo of them, I'll open the briefcase first so that I don't have to fight with the glass.
Yes, that makes sense. Alrighty, thank you so much for sharing your love of dice. That was really, really cool. Now we are approaching the end, but there's still some really cool stuff. What do we have next? Oh, look at this. We have... it's kind of funny. I think it's the second time I have a Prima official strategy guide on the channel.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So, Spacey, we can already know what this is by looking at it. And
yes, we can.
Yeah. What why did you brought us a official guide of Pokemon today?
Well, since I was showing off a Game Boy Color, I figured I'd show off something else from that era that somehow has miraculously survived in near perfect condition, other than like the edges. Like before I like moved out of my the house I grew up in, I was like going through everything that I wanted to take with me. And I stumbled upon this strategy guide, and I was just like floored at how good of a condition it was in. Like even the pages inside, like it looks exactly the same as it did when I last like put it down back in the 90s.
Yeah, and
it's just like really cool to see how Pokemon's aesthetic has changed since those days.
It's crazy.
Just looking at all the old school designs.
And did you effort to preserve it? Like, was it just miraculously just like well preserved? Like, what happened there?
I'd say it was accidentally preserved.
That's rare, because books usually they will like kind of like yellow and that kind of stuff. So how did that even happen?
Yeah, I know. I guess it's because it was in a tote and it was kind of like sandwiched between like a few other heavy things. So it spent like all those years in like a dark, cool place, which is the best, like a dark, cool, dry place, I should say. And that's the best conditions for a book to be, or like a magazine or anything to be preserved.
Yeah. Okay. I have a very soft spot for guides. It reminds me also, I think I talked about it last time I saw the guide, how much the Super Nintendo magazine was often like linked with those guides. And I don't know.
I have fond memories of being subscribed to Nintendo Power.
Oh yeah, me too. And I really like guides, but do you have, like, I know about the rarity of this item. It's like it's old item, right? Not per se rare, but because of time and because of the uniqueness of being well preserved, this like definitely has some value on that side. But what about emotionally? Like, do you have like something special about Pokemon?
The memories came flooding back. Like, I was so invested in Pokemon back then that I actually begged my parents for an Abra for Christmas so that I could teleport anywhere in the world. And they
don't we wish?
I said it with such conviction that they actually thought I was being serious about it. And they were like, Spacey, Pokemon don't exist. You should be old enough to understand that. And I'm like, okay.
Ay.
Here.
Wow. Okay. Spacey parents being like, Dream Destroyer.
Well, I mean, they bought me like so many other games back then, so I had no right to complain.
Okay.
But like, yeah, like, and I remember like discovering with everybody else like the missing no glitch. That was like the age of like video game urban legends, and it was back when like the internet was still in its infancy.
Have you
the internet
ever
was just starting. The internet was just starting to pop off back then, and like that was like one of the first like big rumors that like spread like virally on the internet was with missing no.
But have you seen a missing no?
Yes.
You did
in the game.
In
the game, yeah.
I can't even remember like what like prompted to happen. Do you?
Okay, so basically the way that the missing no glitch happened is you had to talk to the old man who teaches you how to throw Pokeballs. And because of the way the game is coded, because they had to save memory on the cartridge. So they did that for the old man teaching you how to throw Pokeballs, because like in all our situations, it's the player that's throwing the Pokeballs. But in order to get the old man to throw the Pokeballs, they had to swap out the data for the Pokemon that you encounter in an area temporarily with the old man. But if after the old man's lesson ended, you flew to Cinnabar Island, it would keep the old man's data in the encounter data on Cinnabar Island. And it was possible to encounter wild Pokemon by swimming along the shoreline. So if after talking to the old man, you swim along Cinnabar shoreline, you would get like random garbage as Pokemon encounters based on like the name that you input at the start of the game. And like, regardless of the name that you choose, you'll always get a missing no in there.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened.
And you can do this without like altering anything, or
nope. You don't have to hack the game or anything. It happens completely in vanilla. It just speaks to just how much like content Game Freak was able to cram into the cartridge. That like exploits like that even existed. They fit a lot of game in there for it being a Game Boy cartridge.
When you think about it, yes. Like all the Pokemon, all the images, all the sounds.
But as a consequence, because of some of the shortcuts they took in order to fit more stuff in it, there are situations where it can't there were no error handlers back then. You just the game just tried to keep going, and then sometimes that would cause like really weird effects, like the missing no glitch.
I see. Well, it is a bit of an edge case, to be honest. For this to happen.
Glitch Pokemon in general in Gen 1 just like fascinate me because of how like unexpectedly surreal and unsettling they can be in the context of the actual game world. Like I love like browsing Bulbapedia every now and then. It's an online like wiki, specifically about like Pokemon data.
I'm actually super into
Pokemon. They have cataloged every single glitch Pokemon in Gen 1. And it's just so fascinating, both from a programming standpoint and from a lore standpoint.
I agree. They were really a marvel of their time, I think, like to be able like to do such big games in such little cartridge.
Also, here's a fun bit of trivia. Fun bit of trivia for what pertaining to glitch Pokemon in Gen 1.
Okay.
The Pokemon Company actually put out an official statement after Missing No was discovered, and they advised people to, if they encounter Missing No, to release the Pokemon immediately, or it may corrupt their save data. It is not possible for Missing No to corrupt your save data. All it does is mess up your Hall of Fame data. The specific glitch Pokemon that can actually mess up your cartridge is called H-Trainer Poke. And it's specifically because it can use a move that is basically just like a glitch move that can like overwrite like cartridge data if it's used. Like it has a chance to. So H trainer poke is the one that you don't want to encounter, but missing no is completely fine. I don't even think you can encounter H trainer poke unless you figure out a way to transfer Pokemon that only exists in Gen 2 back to Gen 1.
Hey, okay. Yeah. Okay, you do enjoy your.
I have done a lot of research, on glitch Pokemon.
All right. I don't even think I've heard of the second one you just mentioned, to be honest. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay. But this book per se, though. I really like the fact that you managed to keep this like almost like in mint condition. Not quite. Yeah, I like you said, there is like, I see it, the whitening a little bit on the edge there. What do I do? I think I bought a lot of Pokemon stuff, and I will let this one slide. But I did enjoy all the knowledge that it came from you with Pokemon, especially like glitch Pokemon. Someone who's also into QA. These are really interesting. We don't have bugs on the same level, I feel, nowadays. They like the super crazy glitch thing like that. Like they're rare. They're real rarity unless someone like go and mess with like the source code, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna let this guide. And to be honest, like I think my love for those guide is more like for the Super Nintendo magazine. If it would have been a Super Nintendo magazine, like I was so much into them at some point, I started looking how much they are worth on eBay. They are crazy expensive. Insane.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Like especially the one that are super well preserved. Yeah. One day I will say I will have my my own copy of a Super Nintendo magazine, but I don't think the day has come. And this is a guide.
I hope you procure one someday.
Thank you. Alrighty, we are now, I think, at not the end. We have two more items. We're letting go the strategy guide, and let's see. Oh, I remember which it is next. I have so much question because this one I was just like, okay, there's a story. Of course, there's a story. There has to be. What do we have next? Poing.
So you have said that your guests on Pomme Stars have had a habit of sharing rocks.
Yes. Oh so no, is this made of a rock? Oh my god. Yes.
This is a rock that it's technically a rock. It's made of black obsidian.
Oh, it's black obsidian, eh? Okay.
This is Reginald.
He has
a black obsidian skull. And he is actually a pencil holder.
He is a pencil. You would have like, okay, where do you put the pencil?
In his mouth.
In his mouth.
Just like slide it in there. But the interesting thing is, though, in order, like, he's best for pencils, honestly, because the weight is more evenly distributed. Like, I've tried putting like a ballpoint pen in there, but it kind of like flops over unless I like balance it weirdly. So Reginald is not a very good pen holder, but he is very good at what I do in terms of like manifesting good intent. Because I am a bit of a practitioner of like spell casting IRL.
Okay.
Not anything in terms of summoning fireballs or anything, obviously, but like in terms of, it's kind of a form of meditation.
Okay.
Where you kind of like set your intent, what you want, like what kind of feeling you want to manifest in yourself, and then you just kind of like build kind of a shrine and like put down like some candles and incense and some water. And then you just kind of like clear your mind. You just like meditate for a bit, and you just kind of like take those intentions, those positive intentions, and send them out into the universe.
Okay.
Black obsidian, the legend has it that it's very good at absorbing negative emotions.
Okay.
So it's something that I find like quite fascinating, because like obviously like it doesn't like immediately do that sort of thing, but like it can aid in that sort of like meditative practice depending on how you look at it. But like I just like really like the aesthetic of Reginald. Like he actually spends most of his time on top of my computer tower, because my computer tower is black in color, and I have him on top of there, actually on top of like a gothic styled like rubber like drink holder thing, like a drink mat.
Okay.
And then beside him, I have two bat-shaped jewelry boxes that I actually keep my Morningstar dice set in when I need them. So the top of my computer almost kind of looks like a cathedral with all three of those items. It is very aesthetic. This is just like quintessential goth.
Okay.
So Reginald is definitely like one of my favorites. One of my favorite crystal skulls that I own. I have like a whole collection of different materials and stuff. But I do have a soft spot for black obsidian. But you do really want to be careful with obsidian in general, because it is glass. It will scratch very easily.
Oh.
So I found that the hard way when one of my crystal skulls dropped, and like just like that, it has a dent in it, and I'm like, but
I see.
If you're careful, black obsidian will last you a long time.
How rare is black obsidian? Like, is it rare? I have no idea.
Compared to other types of like crystal materials, it's pretty affordable. It's basically volcanic glass. That's how obsidian is formed.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I think it's volcanic.
So it has that connection to the earth.
Okay.
Like that direct connection to the earth, and like forged from fire, and so there's something like really metal about that. which no pun intended, because metal does come from the earth as well. I think the most expensive like type of like crystal that I've seen that can be shaped into different things is malachite.
Yeah.
That is super expensive, and it's also very toxic in powder form. So I am not going to own malachite. I'm not going to take the risk.
And the color of this is green, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's some places in the world where like you'll find like furniture and stuff made of malachite just to kind of like show off. But I mean, technically, like gold is more expensive.
Well, yeah.
Like but in terms of like by the pound, but
right. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna be honest. It's been a long time, and then I'm looking at chat. It's been a long time since I've received a rock item, and because I can't have my legacy of being a rock oriented VTuber. Anyway, I think that I really like the look of it, and I already have Shelly. That I won that you won against me playing Janken. I'm interested, but I gotta say, I'm really curious, of the value of such a thing. I'm gonna be super honest with you. My idea of getting stuff to decorate is I'm a weeb ass old man. I'm a weeb, and I have my weeb shit all over the place, and I don't really know how much those things are worth. How expensive is something like that?
I think, okay, I'm trying to see if maybe I can find the receipt for it.
It's crazy. She has all the receipts.
I honestly don't remember. It was It was a little on the pricier side, just because of
that's
the
what I
size of
felt.
it, and just because of the effort that it would take to craft something in Black
Right,
City.
right, exactly. That was like,
I think it cost me like $200.
okay. Oh, that's that. I was like, I'm sure this is not just like something you get like a babble, you know. It looked like, yeah, the material and also the quality of it. Like it's great looking. Like you can see like the shape like of the teeth and the nose and the eye. Well, I mean the eye socket.
It's extremely finely detailed. I think just because of the detail alone is what like drove up the price. Like you could find something like a lot more simplistic that is the same size, for like a tenth of the price.
Yeah. Also, I believe this must be your hand.
Yep, it's my hand.
I will not be taking your hand. You can keep
No.
your hand. That is totally fine. I don't deal with trafficking, this kind of thing. So I just wanted to let you know, like this is not like it's fine.
I get you.
Yeah, I'll just take the. Let's go. Okay. Just, you know, like just to make sure, like.
Only take me if I'm about to fall over and you're trying to like stop me from falling to the ground.
Yes. Yeah. But otherwise, definitely, I am very, very legal. Like, even if some people may have seen some illegal activities, that is definitely not the case. And yes, justice go. All right. Well, you know, I'm really happy because sometime, you know, you get to know people, like, you know, through collabs, through talking to them, and like, if you have told me, maybe I haven't spent enough time like with your content, that like you were like the kind of person who were like in the goth kind of aesthetic, I would not have known that. And I don't know, to me it's super interesting. I had, when I was a younger Janken, and I think I told the Pumpkin once, I had like an arc where I was super fully into goth culture, goth music, and yeah, so that's really cool that we get to discover this side of you today. But at the same time, you're a god gamer, which is super interesting, because the last item is super gamer and it's really cool. It's massive. So Spacey was like, I have this one. It's really big. Should I just like stitch it? I was like, oh, sure. Like without knowing, right? I was like, oh, sure. Okay, sure. You can stitch it. And then I was like, holy, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. So you have your god side and you have your gamer side. Oh my god, let me put this on the bottom here. It's massive. It's gonna like hide a bit of us. Like, okay, I think like that it's gonna work. What am I looking at here, Spacey?
Okay, so this is this is the full set of original Super Mario Bros. Pepsi bottle caps. It was part of a promotion that was exclusive to Japan. Way back when. I think it was like in the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
But I saw this collection online and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to get the full set. It looks really cool. What I really like about it is that it's got kind of like a voxel style, like way before voxel was ever like a thing aesthetically. Like it's basically like if the original pixel art from Super Mario Bros. Was actually like translated to 3D space. It's got that 3D depth to it that's like really fascinating. It's such like detailed artwork for something that was just distributed on Pepsi bottles.
What are they made of? It's
really
it's a plastic kind of sculpture.
Yeah, it's kind of like the bottle caps themselves are made of like, the usual like plastic that bottle caps are made of.
Yeah.
But the sculptures themselves are more of like a softer kind of plastic.
Okay.
And the back half of the back side of all of them is flat. I think it's kind of like, it might actually be like rubber, because it feels kind of rubbery on the back side where it's flat. But like the front side has like that voxel style relief, and it's just, I just love how it kind of like interprets all of the sprites as like 3D objects.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm genuinely blown away that like Japan had such a high quality thing on like Pepsi bottles of all things.
Yeah, Pepsi and Coke here are equally present. Like, some country have like more Coke presence and more, but I feel even maybe slightly, and then maybe Ms. Janken can correct me, I feel Pepsi is a slightly touch ahead with their Japanese customer here. I feel they are trying to be a bit more Japanese than Coke. Coke just being Coke.
I kind of get that feeling too, because there was the whole thing with like Pepsi Man too back in like the early
exactly. They had a lot of like Pepsi stuff, and even in the flavor, the kind of stuff, like when they try stuff, like you can feel that they are going like, oh no, Pepsi Man. Yeah, Pepsi Man. You ever played?
It's kind of interesting that Pepsi Man never really came to the U.S. Like they had the Pepsi Man game, but like the promotions and the commercials and stuff, I don't think I ever saw them play in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be mistaken.
But these are really impressive, and the crazy thing is that this is something that is from the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this collection again, and that's what I told you before, like we even started, right? I told you in DM, it's like all of your stuff is so like clean, pristine. It's like, wow, like that impressed me, because things get damaged over time. It's just a fact, right? It's just like a fact.
I know, right?
And it looks so clean, like all of it, but yeah.
I will say, I do keep my stuff clean, but like a lot of it also has to do with photography too as well. Like I make sure when I take photos that I always have adequate lighting that really like makes the colors pop. Just because that way it's representative of how much they pop in real life too.
But if they were in not good condition, we could definitely say so, I feel. But it's not the case. Like if you look at them really, I'm trying to like really zoom like slowly. If you look at them, you can see that the technique, they kind of like glued, or I'm not sure, like some of them you can see a little bit kind of something like on, how can I describe it? There's the thing on the plastic bottle, right? And then you can feel that some of them, like the glue or whatever they use, like it's visually like present, but overall you don't feel like it's been like true. My God, the 90s. That's 30 years ago. Like they've been like true 30 years.
Does anyone know those like amiibo, that the Super Mario Bros. Anniversary amiibo, where it was just like the 8-bit Mario, but he was like rendered in 3D on top of a pipe?
Yes. I know exactly the one you're talking about.
This is what that reminds me of.
Yes.
It's only the front half, and it's made of rubber instead of like whatever acrylic that they use for amiibo.
At first, when I saw the image, I thought it was a guy who put those on Pepsi caps. I thought it was like it was someone like someone who thought like, oh, I'm gonna give them a base, but to learn that it was actually like a Pepsi promotion, like makes it like even like more fun. Well,
yeah, like it would have been fascinating to just like be in the stores when this promotion was going.
Man,
going
imagine
on,
like
and
you
to
just
see
go
like the
get your
different
Pepsi.
type of...
Yeah, exactly, right? Man, they do this like nowadays, and I don't know if it's because cost nowadays, like they keep it like to the minimum, so maybe we don't see like that kind of stuff anymore.
I have seen like in gas stations there are some, like there was one time where I saw these like bottled drinks that had figures on top of them. But they were pretty small.
I would get something like that like right away. Like even if I don't want to drink a Pepsi.
Yeah, I don't think I've had like a true like anything like Pepsi or Coke, like carbonated like soft drink. I haven't had it in a very long time. The closest that I get is like, I don't know, like orange juice or like juicy juice.
And yeah, that and when you say close, it's really because like it's more like sugary than anything, because
yeah,
not that close. I have a final question, because I think how many Nintendo you had a couple Nintendo stuff, right? And Mario, you had like these, and you have the curse blessed the curse blessed Mario.
Yeah.
What's your emotional relationship? That's so weird to say what I'm going to say. Your emotional relationship with the Mario franchise. Like, has it had like an important... For me, like it literally shaped me, like as a kid. Like it was like the mustache on these bro, and like it's literally what they are. They're bros. Like it was just like something that I found cool, and like growing old, I was like yeah, I want a beard. Like this is like part of my identity. Like it goes like that deep into how it was important. So I'm curious, like for you, since you had like two items about Mario, how has it like kind of influenced you?
Okay, so the first video game that I ever played was Doom, funnily enough. But the very first console game that I ever played was Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo Entertainment System. And it's also one of the few games that my mom actually played with us. So it was like my older brother, my mom, and me. We would all take turns playing Super Mario Bros. And to this day, mom likes Super Mario over any other like game franchise. So yeah, the plumber was the one who started it all in terms of like console games for me. And ever since then, I've just been like a huge like Nintendo fangirl. I've played so much Nintendo. I've like played pretty much all of the greats. I've played Mario, I've played Zelda, I've played a little bit of Metroid. I'm not as attached to Metroid. But like, oh my gosh. And like I've owned like pretty much all of their consoles, even the Virtual Boy I owned.
Oh my god.
Like, for a little while.
You owned it? Oh man. I think I
Virtual Boy.
About
we played
once.
one game on it, and it was.
And
we were
yeah,
like,
and that's the end.
Right,
oh my god. I think I told that story before, but we can maybe like, I don't think I never had anyone who can mutually understand when I talk about this, because every time like no one knows what it is, but now you're going to be able to share. I was working at some point, a bit like what I'm doing now, I guess. I was working in a place where we were renting video games, but we were also buying and selling like used game. And we would buy anything, And we had one day a guy who came with a Virtual Boy. And we were like, oh my god, they brought the legend. What? Like, what is this? What? And we were like, we don't care if it's the merchandise. We plug this shit in. And we gotta try it right now in the shop. We're trying the Virtual Boy right now. And the sheer description of like, you put this on your face, it's all black, and suddenly you are attacked by laser red lines everywhere, and the shapes like are kind of hard to distinguished, and there's like a deepness to it. Like it felt a product like way ahead its time, but at the same time that was just like as cursed as it was so highly advanced for its time. But the pain of putting this like in your eyes and being attacked directly with those red laser is something that I will forever remember. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like I think we just played it for like one day and we were like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
I think we also had a power glove at some point.
Oh yeah, the power glove. Let's go.
Power glove.
The commercial of that was pretty fun.
Yes, yeah.
Well, we were talking about all those other topics before I even make a decision. It's because there's no decision to be made here. This is definitely like, listen, like to be honest, like I would like this to be on my shelf. Like I would not even resell it. I would just be like, okay, thank you, it's mine now.
Just keep it for yourself. Just like, splurge a little. You work hard.
Yeah.
You deserve a little bonus.
Yeah. But it will definitely end up still on the display, even how much I would enjoy having this even in my place.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, man, there was some good mix of like good aesthetic and while a gamer. I think today, if there's anything like I've learned, is that there's a place for people to be huge weeb, huge gamer, and at the same time being like, I'm being aesthetic about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That was like such good taste item that you presented to us, Spacey, and at the same time I felt like there was like some great story that I never expected to hear, like the fact that I now have like blessed Mario, fake Mario figure.
Yeah. The blessed, cursed.
Yes.
Mario.
Exactly. That was great. Thank you for all those great items, and thank you for spending the time over here at the shop. And as we are, of course, and whenever like you have time, like the door of my shop is always open. Can always reach out. It's gonna be a pleasure, and I will be coming back and helping a little bit on the Chrono Gear in the near future, especially since the other project I've been on like has really calmed down. But yeah, is there anything you wanted to share with the viewer as we're ending today about a project or like something maybe on your channel? Oh, about that. You're mainly on Twitch, right?
That's correct.
Right.
I stream on Twitch as Spacey Bat with an underscore. Unfortunately, the other Spacey Bat was taken. But I usually stream on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I often play like speedy platform games, like Sonic and Mega Man, that sort of thing. I also dabble in racing games every now and then, and lately I've been playing Doom. I'm a lifelong Doom player.
Yeah.
Classic Doom.
Yeah, you did say it was your first game.
I just recently started playing the series. Yeah, it was my first game.
That's a crazy game to be your first game, I feel.
I know, right? It's because like my dad, like way back then, he had like a back room with a ham radio station.
Whoa.
He was actually one of the very first people to use the internet. He was kind of like a beta tester for what we know as the modern internet.
Wow.
He would like send packets like back and forth with other people, and he actually like was able to like write messages to the International Space Station, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But also back there, he had a Commodore 64. Which I played around with a little bit, and he also had I think he also had a PC, and that's where he played like the original demo of the first Doom game. So I was like watching him play, and I was like, "Can I play, Daddy?" And he's like, "Sure."
I see.
And he
Sure,
also
play
played
this
Wolfenstein 3D.
ultra-violent game, child.
Yeah. I mean, I turned out fine, arguably.
Yeah, arguably. No, I think you're super fine. All right. So I did pin everyone the channel on our Twitch. Please go give a follow to Spacey. And yeah, for more platformer and all the good things. You also like do some development stream sometimes,
Yes.
correct?
I also like every now and then on Fridays I will have a dev stream. I will either work on our current project, Chrono Gear Warden of Time, or I will do like pixel art for it, and it's a nice chill time. I feel like that's my wheelhouse, and I really like doing like chill art or like game dev streams. And also I did mention Freedom Planet earlier in the stream, me being the producer of both Freedom Planet 1 and Freedom Planet 2. Freedom Planet 2 is available now on consoles, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, what's the latest Xbox? Xbox One, I think? Xbox Series X. Yeah, and also on PC. But that came out on consoles last month, and oh my gosh, like I'm over the moon at everybody's support for like pretty much everything that we work on, so thank you. And also, thank you, Janken, for having me on board today. This was super fun, and thank you to all my underwings who stopped by. It's nice to see some familiar faces in the chat, and so much love and support for Apple Dad here. Yeah.
All right. Well, yes. Bye now, everyone. Like Spacey said, it's available pretty much on everything. So there we go. All right, Spacey, you already know, but maybe other don't know. I have this special signature as we're finishing the stream. As it is my my signature. Fist bump in the chat, everyone. Come on. Even if you don't have the membership emoji, you can send me a fist bump. Come on. I want to see them as we're ending here.
I think this works better.
Yeah, this is fun. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for dropping by.
Thank you.
And go and support Spacey in her games, all right? If you like the kind of stuff that I do about holo games, you're definitely going to like it. So go check her out. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That's a wrap. Bye-bye.